I have been guilty of assuming that this engagement would take much the same form as the previous, he confessed. I will shrive myself with the Pain Gauntlet at the first opportunity, brother captain, and endeavor to correct my failing. We must know the nature of our enemies if we are to aid the people of this world.
It is understandable, Lyderan,
said Chaplain Storn.
This chapter of the Long War is all that you have known since you joined our ranks. Things have no doubt changed since you were taken by Khorne in the 36th millennium. We are Imperial Fists. We must strive always to see past the obvious to the truth beyond. Precision is one of our many virtues. One cannot bring low the enemy's fortress if one does not properly perceive its strengths and assess its weaknesses.
Just so, brother Chaplain, replied Lyderon.
Whoever we face, they have certainly caused both mayhem and destruction,
said Captain Tor, scrolling through the runic script displayed on the data slate he held.
The reports the High Marshal transmitted to us speak volumes.
Even assuming he had omitted whatever details he feels would undermine the planet's defenders in our eyes, said Lyderon.
You believe the High Marshal has lied to us?
Asked Tor.
Do your powers tell you this, brother?
No, brother Captain, but the High Marshal is only human, with all the faults and insecurities such a condition brings. He is a loyal servant of the Emperor, who has spent more than a year fighting a desperate war. He has seen duplicity within his own ranks. Where he assumed none could fester, he saw our brothers in the Honor Guard struck down to a man on the war's first day. Now the Adeptus Astartes descend upon his world, and he fears our judgment. If his own faith in his people falters, he thinks on some level that ours will also. He is desperate to prevent that, especially if the news about Squad Torgan's death is true.
He fears our judgment will fall upon the innocent and the guilty in equal measure,
mused Captain Tor. Him or Governor Callistus, for whom he speaks, said Lyderan.
Their fears are not unjustified,
growled Storn. A few seats down, Chapter Champion Hastor grunted his agreement. We cannot pass judgment on every loyal Gyrish servant of the Emperor because of the separatist lunacy of their countrymen, said Lyderan.
What if all were complicit, whether through deliberate activity or the sin of laxity in their watch?
Challenged Storn.
Ignorance is no defense for heresy.
The people of the Imperium are its lifeblood, Lyderan replied. One does not exsanguinate the patient in order to purge an imbalance of humors.
The people of the Imperium are its garrison,
said Storn.
All bear the burden of responsibility for its defense. It takes but a handful of traitors to open the postern gate to the foe in the light of dusk, and but a handful more to fail to see the peril until it is too late. Soon enough, the entire fortress has fallen.
Aster Lyderan serves as a librarian of the Imperial Fist chapter during the era Indomitus. Taken by the agents of Archimagos Belisarius Cawl during the 36th millennium to be inducted into the Primaris Space Marines of Mars, this master of geokinesis would return to the fold of the Imperium in its time of greatest need. Seconded to the Imperial Fist 5th Company, the Heralds of Truth, led by Captain Arcuros Tor, though successful in their persecution of chaos upon the worlds of Osmal II and Shondark, their indomitable captain would meet his end by a more cunning foe. Their kinsmen garrisoned upon the mining world of Gaia, the initial 5th Company detachment of Sergeant Laras Torgan perished by the hands of the Genestealer cult known as the Writhing Worm after sending a distress call to their kin demanding greater force. Able to investigate the power struggle waging upon Gaia with the abating of the Cicatrix Maledictum, 1 year and 20 cycles following the outbreak of the Genestealers, Captain Tor descended from his strike cruiser, Wrathful. Assassinated by a sniper during his meeting with High Marshal Antonius Callistus, Lyderon acted a mere second too late in casting a shield to protect his captain, pursuing the assassin via a procured Outrider Sergeant's assault bike. Though aided by an unseen psyker, the assassin would not escape Lyderan's chase. Her neck snapped within his grasp and body retrieved for study by the chapter's apothecarian. Overriding the command of the now most senior officer, Chaplain Physis Storn, Lyderan sought vengeance for the 116 slain during their arrival. The Hive of Angelicus, the only holdout of loyalist forces, as the cult infested Hives Claratos, Mastraka, and their surrounding mine complexes. The leader of the cult, known only as Father, served by the malevolent Psyker Magus, Phoenicia Jai, for 19 days of trial, the Imperial Fist fought in vain, attempting to locate the Patriarch. Their tactics ill-equipped to facilitate actions more befitting a member of the Emperor's Holy Inquisition. Some Imperial Fists, such as Company Champion Elrich Hastor, grew jaded with Lyderan's command, in no small part due to his nature as a psyker. Champion Hastor lured into a trap as he pursued intel gleaned from his combat of the father's location. His kinsman retrieved his heavily damaged body as they continued to be harried by ambush demolition maneuvers, losing a total of 12 men. Over 100,000 casualties wrought by the ambush of Hastor. Though the Imperial Fist never lost an honest engagement, the ruling class of nobles, including Governor Osmindri Elicentris Callistus XXI, began to lose faith. Hastor advised by Bishop Latimer Renwick that one of his men had been approached by a subject of the writhing worm. Intel that the father may lurk within the delve mine of Lord Dostos Delve, though likely a trap, could not be ignored. Set upon by mining vehicles, incurring a grievous wound during the ambush as the Genestealers sacrificed their own men gladly to bleed the Astartes, Lyderan's left arm would be severed, requiring treatment from Apothecary Lordas. The unrest within the tunnels causing debris to crush Apothecary Lordas, as Lyderan retrieved his Geneseed canisters for the sake of his chapter. As Astor's anger reached a fever pitch, unlikely reinforcements came to Gaia's aid in its darkest hour. Warriors of the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos, the Death Watch, led by Watch Captain Lothar Redfang, dissatisfied with the Imperial Fist methods thus far. Their blunt methods, administered by White Scar's apothecary, Sor Kal, quickly found traitors within their midst. Revealing Lord Delve to be wearing a prosthetic, hiding mutated chitinous plates upon his scalp. Following his execution within the Court of Judgment, Sor Kal tested Bishop Renwick for corruption, finding a psychoreactive parasite to have manipulated his thoughts. Lyderan meeting with Chaplain Storn as he adapted to his replacement cybernetic arm. Despite his stature as the only Primaris within their combined ranks, Physis praised his kinsman for his empathy, regardless of his furtherance than even the Firstborn, from what could be considered human. Tensions rising between Astor and Redfang as their methods of rooting out the Genestealers differed. Within the Fane of the Emperor Risen, both Imperial Fists and Deathwatch sought to find the father as an attack befell Hive Angelicus. Champion Hastor roused from his surgery table as Genestealers attempted to kill him in his sleep. Alongside Brother Idaras, Hastor once more risked life and limb to defend the spaceport, as Chaplain Storn sacrificed himself to prevent a biopurge bomb from killing all life upon Gaia. Lyderan's assault force managing to kill the cult leader, Lore of the Writhing Worm, only to lose 18 Imperial Fists and more than 100,000 civilians to the biopurge. Astor and Redfang would come to blows. Refusing to allow Lothar to enact exterminatus upon the planet should even a small chance of saving the populace remain, Astor constrained the Watch Captain with his psychic abilities, calming his temper as he set aside his differences with Redfang. Governor Callistus, advising that the father may lurk beneath the hive of Mastraka. United in purpose, the Astartes and soldiery of Hive Angelicus fought the pure-strained tides of Genestealers, defending their master. Lyderan facing the Patriarch alone with his psychically galvanized fists due to his force staff being broken. After bloodying the Xenos, Redfang's Deathwatch kill team aided his plight, slaying the father of the Writhing Worm despite each incurring wounds and some perishing during the battle. Magus Phoenicia Jai, realizing her folly the moment her connection to the Patriarch was severed. Though the mutant would evade justice, the world of Gaia would be saved in the name of the Imperium. The deeds of Epistolary Lyderan, henceforth unknown. Doubtless his refusal to abandon the innocent in the name of Rogul Dawn spurs his kinsman to new heights of glory.